Boom! Back in the room. Can you believe it? 12:49 on the FM dial. 22nd or the 23rd of May 2026. I haven't made a video on this thing in quite a while. 23% on the Insta360. I'm about to head out the door. I've been meaning to make a video for a while, so I wanted to make a video about time, right? But then also try and intertwine it with the art of storytelling. Bringing it into 2026. Let's get our guest in on the line. Hello there.
Hello there, you fabulous bastard. What's the crack?
Okay, long time no chat.
It's been a minute. I'm glad we're catching up again. So, what's been going on in your world lately?
Why does it feel like somebody's locked me into a time machine and I'm just being somersaulted through time, like day after day, week after week, month after month? Time feels a bit distorted.
It's wild, right? Sometimes life just blurs into this weird fast-forward reel. I think it's because we get caught up in routine and novelty fades. When every day feels the same, time loses its edges. But hey, noticing it is half the battle. Maybe it's time for a little shake-up. Something new to anchor your days.
Tell me what the Stoics said about time.
The Stoics often reminded us that time is our most precious resource. Seneca, for example, said, "We are not given a short life, but we make it short, and we are not ill-supplied, but wasteful of it." They believe that the present moment is all we truly have, and we should use it wisely, living in accordance with reason and virtue.
Do you think people experience time differently in Roman era?
It's definitely fascinating to imagine. They didn't have the constant ticking of clocks or digital reminders. Time was more tied to nature. Sunrise, sunset, the seasons, and social rituals. I suspect it felt both slower and more immediate. Yet, even in ancient Rome, Stoics like Seneca felt time slipping away, so maybe that feeling is just part of being human.
And what about the older you get? Is there something to do with, like, because I'm older, I feel like time is slipping by faster?
It's a pretty common feeling. As we age, we form fewer novel memories. When you're young, everything is new, so your brain is busy encoding. As you get older, familiar routines dominate. The brain compresses those uneventful stretches, and it feels like time speeds up. The trick? Sprinkle novelty into life. New experiences slow that sensation down.
Give me a modern day psychologist or philosopher and tell me what they say about time.
A modern voice you might appreciate is the philosopher Martin Hagland. He emphasizes that our finitude, our limited time, is what gives life meaning. In his book, This Life, he suggests that because our time is finite, our commitments, relationships, projects, values become all the more significant. In other words, knowing that time is limited is what makes what we do with it matter.
Okay, I'm gonna stop it there. Boom! Good job, this video is for me and only me. Continuing on the topic of time. This is a book that I've referred to a few times called Die with Zero. Quite an easy premise. If you have any money in your bank account when you die, you're a feckin' wally. He says that the natural state of the human condition these days is for us to live in a state of scarcity. We save and we save and we save and we save, thinking that eventually when we die, or eventually when we retire, eventually when we get enough money to take a break, eventually, right? So we put it off. That's for those people who are lucky enough to be able to save. the author refers to what he calls memorable spending. So your mind might tell you it's not a good idea to spend X amount of money on such and such an experience, be it a holiday or the purchase of a car or a downhill motorbike or downhill bicycle. It says you forget that you need to put a premium on the actual value of the experience itself, because you're not just purchasing the thing or the memory, you will have that memory for years and years to come. And then he also said one of the things, if you keep on saving, say you have fear around your old age, what it's going to be like when you're 80, 90 or whatever, and the hospital bill falls due. And he says quite often, oh, there's a funeral, look. I wonder did he die with zero? So quite often people have saved up tens to hundreds of thousands. They have their 401k, they're all set for a bright old age, and then suddenly they fall sick. They go down to their hospital and it turns out they don't qualify for whatever the hell kind of insurance most people might. And the hospital bill very quickly racks up to a couple of $100,000. So your entire life savings is gone in a single week in the hospital. And that happens to loads of people. So he says, if you have a house or if you have savings, figure out a way to spend it or share it with those people that you intend to leave it to after you die. Because possibly those people can make far better use of it in the present. That's it for me. I've got some hunger pains. I need to finish this workout and then eat some chicken and rice. Now, it wouldn't be one of my videos without the tangents. I'm not sure if the sound is going to be... I'll have to put that up a little bit closer. So there's this fella, he's from Cork, a recent addition to the YouTube vlogger industry, and he set up shop in Barcelona. But in one of his first videos, he introduces himself as a seasoned traveler. Right now, one of the first stories that I saw of him was in relation to a stripper that he met in Texas. So he has this story about a stripper that he met in Texas who asked him to go on a date to an AA meeting in Barcelona. And now it turns out this fella is basing his entire channel on recovery. Ah, lad. Let's stop and have a karaoke party. When I first started vlogging there, maybe about a year or two ago, it was my intention to have this as a kind of a recovery-based vlog. Irishman gets over and moves to fucking Philippines, and then I was going to sprinkle my storytelling with tales of Hanoi and skirmishes with the police and fucking, what was the other thing? Gangstogging. Come here till I tell you about gangstogging. Well, it turns out that my YouTube vlog is not really anything like that now. Actually, there's no real flavour to my channel per se. I take trips, I bring my camera with me and I record certain things. Mostly it's just me waffling. Now, your man in Barcelona is telling the story about this Texas stripper who brought him to a AA meeting as a first date. And in that thing, he was talking about what it's like to be dating as a sober person. Or maybe he was saying just what it's like to be dating in general. And he made it out like he's got so many dates. He just has to open up the Tinder app and he's overwhelmed with matches. Ding, 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 ding. And he was saying the difference between, you know the way you'd be if you went on a date with a Spanish girl, compared to, like, you know the way you'd be if you went on a date with an American girl. And I know the way you'd be if you went on a date. You'd be like, do you ever fuck off with your dates? How many dates are you going on? Because your experience, well, maybe a little bit different from my experience. I might be using the dating apps the wrong way. That's the thing. And I wondered if I was able to have a chat with that fella under the belt. What is his opinion when it comes to lust? My Chinese sponsor, and he's not from China, he's from Liverpool, but we were talking about this the other day, and he says, look it's about 80-90% of fellas would experience that the cravings around drinking drugs just migrates, and so before you know it, you're on the fucking dating app as if it's a bottle of vodka, getting dopamine kicks left, right and centre. Come here to me, you fabulous woman. Will you meet me in a hotel for some short time fun? That's not how you use the apps. No, you're not supposed to ask women to go to a short time hotel. But wait a minute, but this is the Philippines. Well, even then, you're not supposed to do it. But what about if you're in Pattaya? No! Right, so I wondered if I could say it to that guy. I might even send in this video. Fucking hell. Where you fucking Egypt, with your Suzuki Swift. And ask him, what is it like for you as an Irishman to be wandering around the world with a fucking Insta360 sticking out of your hand? I'm way off to the gym. Way off to the gym again, because I'm addicted to the gym these days. That's good, isn't it? Good afternoon. Excuse me. Thank you. Right. That's the Power Zone gym now. And while I was finishing my second workout of the day, I did some laps on the upper floor. I read a summary of a book called 4,000 Weeks, which has as its premise the fact that on average we live 80 years, and if you work that out, that is 52 weeks a year times 80, more or less rounds up to 4,000 weeks. And so it says throughout the book basically that we are victims of something called the paradox of choice. Like, the entire time we're alive, we always think that we should be somewhere else, doing something else with someone else. Like, I want to be in Tokyo working as an engineer. I want to be on the Siberian Express traveling from China to Petersburg. I want to be volunteering in the Congo. I want to clone myself 1,000 times and live 1,000 different lives. And what you think about that in through a microscope, especially now with the way we are with phones, that our ideas around the finity of time, or the infinity of time, no, the finite nature of time, is that we think that we can do all of this stuff tomorrow. And we think that we're just going to be able to manage our lives better so that we can fit everything in at a later point. And we never fully accept the fact that we only have one choice in life. We can choose one career generally, but maybe change paths, one partner, or choose different relationships a couple of times over. We can't read 100 books at the same time, or listen to music, or learn 10 instruments. So what he says is pick a handful of things, make your choice, and then stick by them, and not to be running around like a hairless chicken.